Hi, my name is Kelly Jimenez, and I just wanted to take a minute and tell you a little bit about why I became a Beachbody coach. Um, I think it's really important when you start a business like this to really think about why you need something like this to work, or why you would even start an at-home business like this. Um, and so I'll tell you a little bit about my story and my why for really pushing through and really giving it my all in this business. So about 3 years ago, a friend of mine was sharing her journey on social media. She had just had two little boys, and she was sharing her before and after pictures from doing a workout called Turbo Fire. And at the time, I had a 1-year-old little boy, and my husband plays baseball for a living. So we travel all over the country for his job. We're normally moving 8 months out of the year, and he can switch teams at a drop of a hat. So we could be in one city one day and another city the next day. So our life is very up in the air and very crazy. So after I had my first son, I had a really hard time consistently working out again. Not only because our lifestyle was so crazy and we were moving, but I also just was having a hard time balancing mom life and figuring out what that meant for me and trying to figure out my schedule again and how I could fit in my workouts. And I didn't want to take my son to a nasty gym daycare. Plus, we were moving so much. It was really hard for me to get gym memberships or stick with something consistently because our life was just a whirlwind. So after I saw my friend doing these at-home workouts and getting such amazing results, I reached out to her and just said, "Hey, what are you doing? I want to try this." So I started Turbo Fire about 3 years ago, and I jumped in an online challenge group with her and a bunch of other ladies, and we were all doing Turbo Fire together. And I started to get some really good results, and I was sticking with the workouts, and I was starting to get a six-pack back. And with my first son, I had a C-section, and I never thought I was going to get my stomach or my body back to where it was before I had kids. And I was starting to get a six-pack, and I loved the accountability of the online group. I loved that I had a group of ladies that were cheering me on. We were doing the workouts together. I felt like somebody cared. And that was something I had never gotten going to a gym. Kind of backing up a little bit, I was a college athlete. I played volleyball. So I knew what it meant to go to a gym and work out. I knew what to do. I'd been doing it for years. But whenever I went to a gym, I never felt like anybody cared. Nobody was checking in with me to see how my workout went, to see if I was reaching my goals, to ask me how my nutrition had been. Nobody cared. But for once, when I joined this challenge group, I had this entire support group of people that were checking in with me, giving me meal ideas. All of them were moms. So we were all sharing our struggles with working out with a little one at home. And I just felt like I had a group of people that understood me. So after the group was over, my friend actually approached me about becoming a coach as well. And at first I was super nervous about it because, we all hear about these network marketing companies, and I was always a little hesitant because I didn't want to sell to my family and friends. But at the same time, I knew how big of an impact that this challenge group and this workout had on me, that I wanted to offer this opportunity to other moms out there, or other women out there, or other people out there that were looking for a solution to work out at home and feel like they had a community of people supporting each other. I just knew there was something special about that. So I talked to my husband, and we decided, okay, I'm going to dive in for 6 months, and I'm going to really go for it. And then in 6 months, if this isn't for me, then we'll just walk away. But we'll see where it ends up at that point. So I dove in and I started running my own online challenge groups. And I honestly can tell you that I finally felt like I had a purpose. So, being a stay-at-home mom and traveling around for my husband's career is amazing. And I was definitely busy. And our life's crazy. And I definitely filled my days with my mom to-do list, laundry, going to the grocery store, cooking dinner, taking care of my child. But I just didn't really feel fulfilled. And I felt like I was losing myself in our crazy baseball life and just being a stay-at-home mom. I felt like I was losing the competitive drive I used to have, the kind of go-getter attitude. I was always a straight A student, got my master's in business. I had my undergrad in journalism, figured I was just going to climb the corporate ladder, and then married my husband, and kind of life just changed, and my whole thought for where my life was going to go completely switched. So Beachbody kind of brought that back into my life and gave me a purpose and something I could look forward to for me. So after 6 months, my husband and I kind of sat down and we were trying to decide if I was going to keep doing this, which I knew I was going to because I was hooked and I loved it. And I loved being able to help other people and help myself at the same time. And so we sat down and I told him, I said, do you realize I paid our mortgage last month? With the income I was making from Beachbody, I paid our mortgage. And he was like, what? You did? And I guess the coolest thing, like aside from the money part of it, was just how many lives I've been able to change and help. And I never expected that jumping into this. Like I knew I was going to get in great shape and I knew I would really help some people. But the messages that I get on a daily basis with people thanking me for motivating them or thanking them, for getting them started in this business, or thanking me for helping them find a workout that worked for them. That part's been so amazing. So let's go back to what I kind of started this whole video about. So that's kind of my story and how I got started and how I got hooked on this whole thing and why 3 years later I'm still doing it. But there was something bigger that has also driven me to keep going. And that's my why. And we always talk about how your why should make you cry. So your why is that deep down reason why you want this to work, or why you need this business to work. So for me, my why really has a lot to do with my husband's career. So baseball was our only income for a long time. And that put a lot of pressure on my husband because it was kind of his responsibility, his performance that was going to provide financially for our family. So we were basically an injury away from having no income. And that was really scary. My husband could literally just tear his rotator cuff doing something silly, playing his game, and we were going to be done. No income, no backup plan. We had our first son, and at that, after I became a coach, I got pregnant with my second son. So now we have 2 boys, we have a house, we have expenses that we have to be able to cover no matter what happens with baseball. So that was a scary place to be. So for me, my why, the reason that I pushed so hard in this business is because I wanted to provide financial stability for my family regardless of what happened in baseball. Regardless of if my husband ever got injured or if, he just couldn't find a job. That's the thing with baseball. Every year you don't know where you're going to be, what team you're going to be with. It's a crazy, crazy lifestyle. Super exciting and super fun, but it's crazy. And so for me, I never wanted my husband to worry about us paying our bills. I wanted to be able to provide financial stability for my family that no matter what happened, we were going to be fine. And I also, after being a mom and staying home with my 2 boys, I never thought I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. Like I said, I thought I was going to be climbing that corporate ladder. That's always kind of the envisionment I had for my life. And after being able to stay home with my kids, I never want to go back to work. I never want to miss a day with them. I don't ever want someone else raising my kids. I want to be here as much as I possibly can with them because I know they're only little ones. So if I can use this business to kind of take that pressure off my husband and also ensure that I'm able to stay home with my kids, that's worth it to me. And that's what drives me every day to make this business work. So if you have a why, if you have a reason that you need this to work, if you have a desire to help others, if you have a feeling deep down that you're meant for something more and that you haven't quite found your purpose yet, this might be perfect for you. But not to say it's not easy and not to say you're not going to work hard, but if you have that why that's really going to push you through, anything's possible in this. And I'm proof of that. So, and even if you feel like you're busy, like I said, I have 2 little boys. I'm basically a single mom 8 months out of the year. We travel all over the country. I don't have friends and families and sitters that are helping me with my kids. It is me. And I'm able to make this work. And I have people on my team that are full-time, they work full-time, they have kids. everyone on my team is different in the place they are in their life. But just know, if you want this bad enough, and if your why will make you cry, you can make this work too. So I hope that helps.